Welcome to Attack TV. I'm your host, Sean Bisson, here with head coach Ryan McGill just ahead of training camp. Ryan, you're entering your second camp now. Everything's a little bit more comfortable for you. You don't have to spend a whole lot of time getting to know the players this year like you had to last year. Do you think that's going to make it a smooth transition into the start of camp for both you and the players this season?
Oh, for sure it will. It's way more comfortable. I know every one of those players in the room, what their tendencies are. I think coming into training camp, it's going to be a real smooth training camp as far as expectations and how we want to, move forward, and I'm really looking forward to it.
With a lot of the guys that we had on the team last year taking steps towards the end of the season, looking to take bigger roles on this year, there's a lot of young talent, second and third year guys that could really step up and become major players on this team this year. Is that something that excites you coming into camp with guys like Nick Suzuki, Marcus Phillips, and even Kevin Hancock, Jonah Gadjevich, guys that really showed something in their games last year?
Yeah, the maturity level they'll show is obviously from over the summer, and I'm excited to see that. I think the competition level in training camp to position themselves to take bigger roles and earn more ice time, I think is something that we're all looking forward to seeing, and just how much the guys improved from December until April is something that I want to see. That you want to see that consistent play in their game, and I think that I think everybody is real excited to get back and get to work.
There was a lot of overage candidates coming into the season, and then you saw the departure of Daniel DeKoning, and recently Jacob Bush isn't coming back this year, but yet acquired Matt Schmalz from the Sudbury Wolves, who could potentially be a pretty big goal scorer. For you, with all of those overagers in the mix, how does that make your job a little bit more difficult approaching this camp as far as they're concerned?
Well, I think when you look at the Schmaltz boy, I think we need some scoring. I mean, there's no secret. Like, we know how to play defense, but we need some scoring. We need a scoring threat, whether it's on the power play or 5-on-5, and he's a big body. So, I mean, his acquisition was important for us because he has the ability to score goals. He scored 24 goals 2 years ago, and we think he can get back to that this year. So, I mean, there's going to be some competition with the overage positions, but at the same time, I think that'll be something that plays itself out by itself.
Because there's going to be so much competition for spots throughout the lineup this year, whether it's guys looking to move up a line from where they were last year, or like we just talked about, the overagers, do you think that this means that you'll be looking a lot more at assessment and how guys are performing during the camp rather than maybe teaching some systems like you maybe would have before?
Well, more than likely, because the guys kind of know how we want to play and what our foundation is, and the biggest thing we'll be looking for is consistency. Who can be real consistent right out of the gate and not have to wait until November.
And lastly, what are your expectations for this camp, especially the rookie camp, which starts on Monday? For a lot of these kids, it's their first crack at major junior hockey. So what kind of expectations do you have for them?
Well, the rookie camp is all about getting these players to feel comfortable, trying to let them play their game by, in games, in the scrimmage games, and making sure that we do a good job of really evaluating well so that when we turn over to main camp, we give these players the biggest opportunity to make our team and evaluate them as such.
Awesome. Thanks a lot for your time, Ryan.
Thank you.
This is my home. Been there about 12 years. This is the tree that once shaded my backyard. And here's what happened when a storm blew through our neighborhood. Oh man, what a disaster. Fortunately, my wife knew just who to call. The experts at Balfour. So to recap, my home before the storm, my home after the storm. Or the way I see it, my home before Balfour, my home after Balfour.
Balfour, your home, your life, our promise.